How to write a balanced chemical equation. In language of chemistry, the main important point is that to write a balanced chemical equation for chemical reactions. Like that, what we learned, magnesium reacts with oxygen and form magnesium oxide. In order to write that, you should know about 8 rules. These and all not at all mentioned in your textbook. Therefore, when you study all these 8 rules and then we start writing the equation, you can write easily any equations. For example, the rules. First, we learn the rules. Rules 1. The basic theory of chemical equation is reactants gives products. 2. Find out the reactants and products in the chemical equation. That means as a reaction, if it is given, you find out which are the one reacting together and what are the product formed. Now 3. The reactants should be always be written on the left hand side. Remember that. And the products have to be written on the right hand side. Now, fourth one. In chemical equations, we use symbols for elements and formula for compounds. Note, when elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine take part in chemical reactions as reactants or products, they should be written in their molecular form as H2, O2, N2, F2, Cl2, Br2, I2, even though their symbols are H, O, N, F, Cl, Br, and I. Some students always make a mistake that they uses these symbols in the equation. That is wrong. If you have to write it as molecules like this. Now, symbols of all the other elements can be written as shown. That is, you studied 40 elements in that. Except this, all the other can be used to represent as the symbols. For example, sodium, Na, calcium, Ca, barium, Ba. You don't have to put Na2, Ba2 and all. No need at all. If you make a Na2 and all, it is wrong. Always keep in mind that there are certain elements. Chart 3 means there are 26 elements which I gave you to study the chemical formula. Without that, we cannot write majority of the equation. That is the chart 3 means, and based on this book only it is mentioned. That is that 26 chemical formula that I gave you. If there is more than one reactant, they should be joined with a plus sign. That is why magnesium plus oxygen is given. These and all not mentioned in your textbook. Therefore, I'll give you this copy. You study and come so that we'll start the writing the equation on Monday only. Now, if there are more than one reactant, they should be joined with a plus sign. And the same should be followed regarding the product. That means if there are more than one reactant, you put a plus sign and join them. If there are more than one product, you put a plus sign and join them. After writing the chemical equation, check. That means whether it is skeleton or balanced. This may be a new term for you. Skeleton or balanced means, I will explain balanced equation. If the number of atoms of each element on the reactant side, that is the left hand side, is equal to the number of atoms of each element on the product side, it is called a balanced equation. For example, I'll just show you one simple example. Sulfur plus oxygen is giving SO2. On this side sulfur 1 atom. On this side also sulfur 1 atom. This side oxygen 2 atoms. And this side oxygen 2 atoms. This is a balanced equation. That means number of atoms on the left hand side, if it is equal to the right hand side, that equation is called balanced equation. Now skeleton equation. If the number of atoms of each element on the reactant side, that is the left hand side, is not equal to the number of atoms of each element on the product side, it is called a skeleton equation. For example, magnesium Mg reacts with oxygen and form magnesium oxide. On the left hand side 1 magnesium, on the right hand side 1 magnesium. It is okay. Now look at the oxygen. Here on the left hand side oxygen 2, whereas on the right hand side oxygen is only 1. Therefore it is a skeleton equation. Then when you find a skeleton equation, it has to be balanced. That means you should make the oxygen on both sides equal. Therefore, even for the examination, if the equations are not balanced, you are not going to get any marks. In 10th standard, nearly 20 marks questions are for balancing the equation. That is why from 7th standard onwards, giving you a practice so that you should get full mark in 10th standard when they are given questions like to balance the equation. Last one, if a chemical reaction involves conditions like temperature, pressure, catalyst, this also should be written above the arrow or below the arrow. There will be a reactants gives product, there is an arrow. If they say that the temperature is 200 degree or the pressure is 50 atmospheres, iron catalyst is used. If such informations are given, you should write it below or above the arrow that all the points, pressure, temperature, catalyst, etc. Otherwise also you are not going to get any marks. Therefore get thorough with these 8 rules. Then Monday we'll start